just cross and redirect. And then we have, I don't know what the defense's intention for their case in chief is. We're going to have to deal with that issue as well. And then we do believe there's going to be some argument on instructions, so we can take care of that too. But in terms of the jury, my understanding, we're going to bring them back Monday for closing argument.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
My understanding as well, Your Honor, as it relates to the scheduling, I don't have anything further to place on the record at this time for the jury.
All right, so once we finish with this witness, we will go ahead to your client,
Yes, Your Honor.
and then we'll see where we are. So unless you want to do it now.
No, my preference would be, I think after speaking with Mr. Anderson, to finish with the people's case in chief, take a brief break, and then we'll go through that exercise.
Makes sense, thank you. Is the witness here?
Yep, Detective McConnell.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, we've had so many. Would you like to take the stand? And please bring in the jurors.
All rise.
Good morning, you may be seated, and detective, for today's record, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I will. Thank you. You may put your hand here. Counsel, you are ready to proceed with cross.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
So I think I'm going to kind of start back, maybe work through in kind of a chronological fashion here, okay? So you were talking earlier in your testimony, I believe, about canvassing the neighborhood in terms of maybe looking for video footage or things of that sort. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What exactly is canvassing the neighborhood? What does that entail?
Looking for people who were witnesses as well as video footage that may be available.
And how would that be done? You just go and knock on doors, or what would the procedure be?
Yes, typically that is the procedure, just knocking on doors.
And when was that done? Was that done in the early morning hours after the incident, after the shooting, or was that done at a later time, or both?
Both.
And is that you, or who would have done that?
Initially, road patrol would have actually taken care of that, not me personally.
Would that have been the officers that initially responded to the scene?
I don't know which specific officers it was, but yes, people that were dispatched there would have handled that task.
Okay. And I believe that you stated that no ring camera footage or other surveillance footage was, I believe, located or recovered. Is that right?
That is not right.
Okay. So other than the footage that we have seen here today about the incident and the shooting, was there any other ring camera surveillance video footage that was recovered that showed the shooting?
It does not show the shooting, but there was other video recovered.
Okay. But none that directly showed the shooting then, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And do you know, as the detective working on this investigation, was there any follow-up done with any of the homeowners who may not have responded initially to the canvassing efforts?
Yes, there was one person in particular who provided that they had video footage available. However, they were unavailable during the 3 a.m. time frame.
And in the videos that we have seen of the incident, mainly the two videos as it relates to the fight and then the gunshots, ring out. In those videos, we see what appears to be a lot of people with cell phones out. Is that right?
Yes, there are multiple people with cell phones.
Okay. They would appear to be recording what was going on. Is that right?
I don't know what they were doing.
From your observations, would that appear what they were likely doing?
They were holding their phones up.
Can you think of any other reason why they would be doing that other than recording?
I have no idea what they were doing.
And did your investigation, did you ever learn through the investigation who those other people were that we saw on there holding up cell phones?
None of the people in the video depicted were willing to come forward and speak with me despite my best efforts to contact.
And so in other words, does that mean that you knew who they were and you attempted to contact them and they didn't speak with you, or what does that mean?
No, through the course of this investigation, this particular incident was placed onto Crime Stoppers for anyone that had information to come forward. No one ever contacted me with, I was at the party, please come talk to me.
And we've heard testimony from a few people who were there and were involved or at least witnessed some of the events here during this trial. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. And did you attempt to see if they knew who any of those individuals were, could provide you with names or contact information for those people?
yes, no one was willing to provide me further names or contact information for witnesses that were present.
And as it is today, we don't have any cell phone video footage, assuming there is any, from those people that we would have seen depicted on those videos. Is that fair?
Yes, I don't have any other videos.
In the videos that we have seen depicting the physical altercation and the shooting, you would agree with me that those videos, they do not show the actual shots being fired. Is that right?
You can only hear the shots.
You cannot see the person firing the weapon in those videos.
Correct.
And you have not come across or in possession of any videos that would show the person who's actually doing the shooting. Is that right?
I do not have those.
And you were asked in your direct testimony, as we were going through and repeatedly going through almost frame by frame, second by second, in some instances of those videos, about someone saying the name Jordan in one of those videos. Do you recall that?
Yes,
I believe it was some female saying something to the extent of Jordan, stop this, or something along those lines. Is that right?
yes,
And we know that Jordan Glover was the one who was having the birthday party that day.
yes,
And there were a lot of people there.
yes,
It appeared dozens of people.
yes.
And you can't tell us definitively that Jordan Glover was the only Jordan that was there attending that night, can you?
I have no idea.
You were asked questions about person in the video, I believe you said appeared to be checking the waistband. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. And the pants that person was wearing appeared to be rather large or kind of saggy. Would that be a fair depiction?
I don't understand your asking.
Okay. Were the pants of that person, as best you can recall, were they staying up high and firm on the waist?
They seem to be intentionally lower than the waist, but not falling off.
Wasn't my question. I mean, so you said they were lower. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. Even to the extent that the person's undergarments were exposed at some points, is that right?
yes,
Okay. And you've already stated that they were kind of low, is that right?
yes,
Okay. And people do touch or pull up on their waistbands to pull their pants up if they're low or sagging low sometimes, don't they?
sure.
And you were asked at one point in the video about what the person was doing. I believe you said it appeared that the person was holding their right hand in front of their body. Do you recall that?
Yes,
And you did not see a firearm in that person's hand, is that right?
there's not a firearm visible.
I believe there was some testimony about maybe the person wearing a mask in that video, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. You stated that it appeared to you that that person was wearing a mask. Did I understand that correctly?
yes.
Can you tell exactly what kind of mask it is or was?
A cloth mask that people wear over their faces.
You mean like a mask that we would wear like during COVID or some other type of mask?
A different type of mask. This is a mask that most people refer to as a ski type mask, wherein there's a hole that eyes and nose are visible through it. The person is wearing that mask, but it's pulled down almost under their chin at one point. So their face is blocked, their hairline is essentially blocked, but you can see the majority of their face.
And so so is the type of ski mask that you're talking about, is it the one that would cover up essentially the face except for the mouth and the eyes, or a different type?
Yes, but it would be a large hole for the mouth and eyes.
It would be a what?
A large hole.
Okay. And it wasn't to the point to where it was obscuring the person's face in the video though, is that right?
Correct.
You can still see the sides and so forth of the person's face in the video?
Yes,
Did you see anyone else in the video wearing masks?
I didn't notice that anyone else was wearing a mask.
Did you see anyone in the video at any point putting on a mask?
No,
And you spoke with Miles Washington about this incident, is that correct?
I have.
And you spoke with him, I believe, in mid-July, approximately a week and a half or so after this event, is that correct?
Yes,
And was it your understanding after speaking with him that multiple suspects had on masks?
yes,
And you were asked questions about the sweatshirt that we saw depicted, namely the one with coffee mug and a skull. You recall that?
yes.
And there was a photo introduced, I believe it's supposed to be of Mr. Anderson and a young lady. Do you recall that?
I do.
Okay. And the sweatshirt, as we see in that photograph, is only shown from the front, not the back. Is that right?
Yes,
And in the video depicting the shooting, we primarily see the sweatshirt from the back. Is that right?
it's shown from the front and the back.
A large portion of it was shown mainly from the back, though. Would that be correct?
Most of the video is from the back.
And you didn't come across anything in your investigation that would lead you to believe that that particular sweatshirt was unique, rare, one of a kind?
I have no idea the origin of that sweatshirt.
And so the answer to my question then would be no?
Can you ask your question again?
Sure. During the course of your investigation, you didn't come across anything that would lead you to believe that that particular sweatshirt was some type of unique, rare, or one of a kind item?
No,
And you talked about speaking with Mr. Washington or trying to speak with Mr. Washington at the hospital on the morning, a little after the shooting, is that right?
yes,
And I believe you stated you spoke with him at the hospital at approximately 5 a.m. or so, is that correct?
yes,
And that would have been about 25 minutes or so after Officer Fox had spoken with him?
yes.
And you were not there, you did not interact with Mr. Washington at approximately 4:35 a.m. when Officer Fox would have been speaking with him, is that right?
That's correct.
And so you wouldn't be able to speak from your own personal knowledge of what kind of state Miles was in at approximately 4:35 in the morning then, is that right?
Right, I didn't speak to him until shortly after that.
And likewise, you wouldn't be able to compare or distinguish how he was at approximately 4:35 versus 5 o'clock when you were interacting with him, is that right?
Yes,
And what was it again that you ended your attempted interview with Mr. Washington so soon after, I believe you said a few questions?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Yes, when you were attempting to speak with Mr. Washington at the hospital, I believe you'd indicated that you terminated that interview rather abruptly after a few questions. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes,
And I'm asking what were the reasons for that again?
he was crying like a child to his mother. It was obvious that he wasn't in the state to provide information based on his emotional and his medical condition.
So he was very emotional and kind of distraught then when you were speaking with him?
Yes,
Okay. And because of the emotional state that he was in, you didn't feel that was an appropriate time to attempt to interview him?
well, whether that was his emotional state or his whether it was his emotional state or his medical condition at the time. Either way, I decided it wasn't the best for the investigation.
That's something that would follow along with your training and protocol on interviewing people then, I'm assuming?
Yes,
And that's something that an experienced officer would be trained to recognize as well, correct?
typically,
Okay. And officers are trained to follow that training and protocol as to when or when it would not be advisable to interview or speak with someone?
every person involved in this process has a different task. So to say that my task and the road officer's task at the same time is the same, that's not an accurate statement. So the road officer is trying to get information in real time to determine who the accused is. My role is more of an investigative lead, where I'm looking for the bigger picture of the investigation. So they were trying to get information immediately for public safety. My role is after the fact. I'm trying to get investigative information, if that makes sense.
Well, even a road patrol officer, even an initial responder, an investigating officer would not speak with someone if the person did not appear to be in a condition to be able to speak with them, though, is that correct?
I'm gonna object to speculation on that. She can't address what Officer Fox's mindset was when he spoke to the victim in this case. Officer Fox has testified, he has been questioned about that issue, so that would be speculation.
Your Honor, I'm not directly asking her anything about Officer Fox. The people went through the witness's qualifications rather thoroughly as it relates to her role as a detective or her role in investigations, and so forth. So I don't believe that this is outside the bounds. It is not speculative. It is something the witness would be able to answer based upon the witness's training and experience in law enforcement.
Ron, what was the question?
The question, I was just looking at it, seem to scan down, however. Could you read it back, Nancy? I just read it. I don't think it's objectionable, although it could be shorter and maybe clearer, but read it back.
Question, well, even a road patrol officer, even an initial responder, an investigating officer would not speak with someone if the person did not appear to be in a condition to be able to speak with them, though, is that correct?
And that would be based on your observation and your training. I think you all go through very similar training. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so based on your knowledge and training, I'm going to allow the question over the objection. I don't know if it's still objectionable, but.
I'll withdraw the
All right,
objection for the
thank
record
you.
based on the question you're
Can you answer that?
Yes, people are trained as officers when to forego an interview.
When to forego an interview?
Yes.
And also you were asked questions about being under the influence of substances, or under the influence of substances like fentanyl. Do you recall that?
I was asked about being under the influence of fentanyl.
Others, not you.
No, not you
But you-
directly. It was in your direct testimony as it was relating to your interview with Mr. Washington. You were asked about him being under the influence of fentanyl, I believe. Do you
Yes.
recall that question?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you're primarily trained in your background as in law enforcement, is that correct?
Yes,
And you do not have any specialized training in medicine, would that be correct?
that is very
Okay.
correct.
Haven't been to medical school, nursing school, anything like
I
that?
have not.
No specialized training in pharmaceuticals?
Not in pharmaceuticals, no.
And I wanted to ask about, you were also discussing, I believe your interview with Miss Williams and Nia Williams. And if I recall correctly, that would have occurred on the same day that you spoke with Mr. Washington in mid-July. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. And was I understanding it correctly that you stated that she did not want that to be recorded?
no, she didn't want to go to an interview room. She had a small child with her and she didn't want to deal with the logistics of that. So we just spoke in a common hallway.
Okay. And was that interview recorded then?
It was audio recorded, yes.
Was that on your phone or something else?
It was through the iCloud app that we record evidence in. I don't recall if it was my cell phone specific or a recording device that it was then uploaded to.
Okay, but it's something you can do in a hallway.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I want to talk a little bit about the videos that we saw from Mr. Lewandowski. You're familiar with those, correct?
I am.
And there's a person running in those videos, is that right?
Yes,
From what you're able to tell, did that person appear to be wearing a mask in that video?
not that I can tell.
And you did not see the person that was running in that video holding a firearm, did you?
No,
You did not see that person in that video ever appear to throw an object or discard anything, is that right?
no.
So that's correct, yes?
Yes, that's correct.
And at no point in those videos did the person stop and appear to be leaving an object behind, is that correct?
Not that I can see in the video.
And we heard testimony from Mr. Lewandowski that the police at some point arrived and searched around the premises, is that correct?
The following afternoon, yes.
And is that something that you were involved in?
No,
Who was involved at that, just other officers, or do you know?
it would have been whoever was dispatched from road patrol.
Okay. And they would have likely been looking in the yard, around the house, around the areas that we see depicted in the video. Is that likely what took place?
I would have to assume yes.
Okay.
I don't want you to assume. So if you don't know, tell me you don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what the officers there specifically did.
Thank you.
You know what they would normally be doing in a case like that?
Yes, they would be looking for whatever the person was looking for.
And you're familiar with all the evidence that has been recovered or not recovered in this case, would that be fair to say?
Yes,
Okay. And there was not a mask of any kind recovered from Mr. Lewandowski's property that you're aware of, is that correct?
correct.
Likewise, there was not a firearm recovered on his property that you're aware of, is that correct?
Correct.
Do you know if any other nearby properties or yards were searched or just Mr. Lewandowski's?
I do know that there was another yard searched because another citizen called the police shortly following this incident that 2 cell phones had been found in their backyard.
There were not any masks or firearms recovered on those properties, though, is that correct?
That's correct.
Moment for me, Your Honor.
You may.
Detective, as we sit here today, to the best of your knowledge, Lansing Police Department has not located the firearm that they believe to have been used in the shooting of Miles Washington, is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you, Your Honor, that's all the questions I have.
Redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor. I need just a moment to get set up, please.
That's okay. Go off the record a moment.
It's technology time, so we'll see how that goes.
Do we see if anyone needs coffee?
Brian, could you help me get?
Concentrating on this.
All right, Detective, I'm gonna go through some of the video content again with you and follow up to the questions that we just had. And I'm gonna play it with the sound down. I think we've all heard the sound. Okay. So I'm gonna start playing People's Exhibit number 40. And I'm gonna start with video number 2 in People's Exhibit 40. So I'm gonna try to walk you through this as best as possible for some description of items, please. All right, so I'm showing you 11 seconds at the video. This is video number 2 from People's Exhibit number 40. And do you see the individual that we've been concentrating our question on yesterday that you made an investigative conclusion about?
Yes, I do.
All right. That individual in the immediate front, directly in front of the screen, next to a person in a white t-shirt.
Yes.
So in follow-up to some of the questions that you received today, I want to go very closely through that individual's garments, please. What does that individual appear to be wearing on top at 11 seconds of the video?
It appears to be a black hoodie with some sort of a white decal on the front left,
So the white decal is exactly located where, please?
on the left chest.
Does the hood appear to be up or down in that photograph?
Up.
You described for us during your direct testimony and then were questioned today about the presence of a ski mask. Is the ski mask that you described, or the masking on the face, is it observable in this video number 2 as the jury focuses on that video during deliberations?
Yes.
I want to talk specifically about this individual's bottom garments, please. First of all, is that individual wearing long or short pants?
They're long pants.
What color is the overall color of the long pants that this individual is wearing?
They're dark. I believe them to be black.
What do we see on both the right, let me try it again. What do we see on the left thigh, please, in terms of additional colors or markings on the left thigh?
It's tough to see in this particular frame, however, I know them to be yellow and white writing.
So on the left thigh, we have, looks like a yellow, almost a cross or angled shape marking on the top thigh, is that correct?
Yes.
And then a longer white decal emanating from just over the top of the left knee down towards the middle of the left shin, is that accurate?
Yes.
And then describe for us, please, what we see marking on the right thigh, please.
There's white writing of some sort.
That white writing, where does it start from? Moving from the head down, where does that marking start on the right thigh, please?
I would say mid thigh,
And then where does that marking continue on down to, please?
past the knee.
You described for us yesterday, and when we discussed this particular individual, that you observed him doing something with his hand in this particular video. Can you describe for us again what he's doing with his hand that the jury can look at in this video?
Yes, if you look at the left hand, you see it kind of at waist level. And then if you look at the right hand, it's essentially parallel to a waistband, as though it's holding something in the front of the pants in this particular frame right here at 11 seconds.
You were asked during cross-examination about this individual touching his right side and perhaps his pants falling down. Are there other instances that we see in the other cell phone video that I'm about to play where this individual is again touching that area of his right pants in a similar manner?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to switch for a moment to video number 2, please. And again, I apologize to everyone for the technology, just as best it works here. All right. All right, so we see that same individual in the frame right there, is that correct?
Yes.
You identified yesterday for us a logo that says on the back, Coffee and Chaos, correct?
Yes.
That appears to be a black garment, is that accurate?
Yes.
And is the hood up or down?
Up.
All right, now in terms of the individual's lower garment in this frame here at approximately 2 seconds into the video, what do we see in between the black garment and on top and the pants that this individual is wearing?
It appears to be either a t-shirt or a pair of underwear.
What color does that t-shirt or underwear appear to be underneath the black garment?
Gray.
And what color are the pants when we look at it from this background?
Black.
All right, as we move forward here, we see something on the right thigh of this individual. Again, what is that consistent with?
White letters.
The same white letters we saw on the previous video.
Yes.
And then what color shoes do we see in this particular video?
They're black with a white sole.
All right. All right, now going to approximately 19 seconds of 18 to 19 seconds of that video. Do we again see the pant leg on that individual that you've identified?
Yes, it's kind of a yellow flash behind where the satellite dish is.
All right. All right. And those pants appear to be fairly ornately designed, both on the front thigh and down to the front knee. Would you agree?
Yes,
Okay. So I'm going to continue playing here, and we're going to talk about where you observe those touches consistent with someone who is touching their waistband in the manner you described, okay?
yes.
Please turn all phones off or they will be collected.
All right, did you just observe the individual at 1 minute and 19 seconds crossing the video?
Yes,
And what did you observe about the placement of this individual's right hand?
it's still consistent with being in the front of their pants,
What is the position of their left hand?
hanging at the side.
All right, now we can see the upper portion of that individual's face right there. Do you see their nose emanating from the front of that garment?
The screen is so terrible. I know it's there, yes.
And are you able to see, at least on your screen, again, this is at 1 minute and 20 seconds, so I'm going to encourage the jury to take a look at this during their own time, but are you able to see what appears to be on this individual's face right there at 1:20?
Yes, it appears he's wearing glasses.
All right, continue playing. Let us know when again we see any type of those retention touches to the side, please.
Just wait, what, 2 seconds before this at 2:15.
So approximately 2:15.
Yes,
All right. So again, we see that individual approach here as you described yesterday,
yes,
and we see that logo on the top right shirt, is that correct?
yes,
And then we watch that individual go right there,
yes,
all right? And then when we spin around, that individual is no longer present in that same location, correct?
correct,
And I think you said yesterday that's about 34 seconds before the shooting, is that accurate?
yes.
Okay, so I want to switch over and follow up to some of the questions you got on cross-examination in terms of your identification of the individual at Mr. Lewandowski's process. So I'm gonna go to the left front driveway clip. Mr. Lewandowski provided you, and again, gonna do my best here. All right, so as that's kind of a starting point, this shooting took place at 3:18 in the morning, is that correct?
Yes,
In fact, we saw that on Mr. Lewandowski's footage yesterday. You can hear exactly the time when this shooting goes off at 3:18 in the morning. Is that accurate?
you can.
So this is now 3:25 in the morning, and we're going to see police cars from the Lansing Police Department. Is that accurate?
Yes.
All right. All right, so I'm going to take you now to, or attempt to, I hope, 3:29. And I'm going to put the sound up for this. All right, do you see that individual run by the house?
I do.
What do you observe about the pants that that individual is wearing?
They're the same colors and the same places as the pants of the gentleman in the video previous.
Are they consistent with the pants that the individual we just discussed at the party is wearing that night?
They are.
When we discussed with you yesterday about some of your investigative conclusions, was the clothing that this individual who was running by Mr. Lewandowski's house at 3:29 a.m. was wearing, was that part of why you made some of your investigative conclusions that you described yesterday?
Yes.
Sorry. So again, let's go back to this individual running by, and for the record, it's 3:29:08. All right, again, looking at those pants, those appear to be exactly consistent with the individual at the party. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Now, what do you observe about the hair on this particular individual as he runs by the house?
Seems as though his dreads are past his shoulders.
So long dread type of hair past his shoulders, is that correct?
Yes.
Assuming, as we are, I'm assuming with you, you believe that to be the same person at the party. Has the top garment, is it the same as at the party, or has the top garment no longer on?
It's no longer on. It's
All right.
a t-shirt at this point with a design on the front.
All right, again, playing. All right, so I want to go next to play it one more time. All right, the color of the shoes that that individual is wearing. What color shoes is that individual wearing?
They're black with white on the soles.
Okay, and we see here at 3:29:11, kind of the hair that we observed or you just described as long dread style hair that's down. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to go to the backyard video, please. Under the right backyard. And we'll go to, again, 329 to start. All right, now, detective, when we see the individual now crawling over the back of the fence, describe for us, please, what color pants does this individual appear to be wearing from behind?
We look black.
All right, now, right there at 3:29 and 58 seconds, can you tell us, please, what do you observe between the location of the pants and the location of the top garment that the individual is wearing?
It's a light gray color.
Consistent with the either underwear or under t-shirt that we observed at the party photo, is that correct?
Yes.
So as it relates to Mr. Lewandowski's video, that first police car rolls by about 3:25 a.m., is that correct?
Yes.
So I want to go to some of the phone stuff that you provided to the forensic analyst. Look at some of these items. Okay, so we see these text messages. So the defendant at approximately, I'm sorry, so on the defendant's phone, at approximately 1:31 in the morning, the defendant is solicited by a person named Said to go to a party. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And then Said identifies at 1:39 in the morning the location of that party to be 6255 Beachfield Drive. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's the location where this incident that we've been discussing for all week occurred. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, at 3:20 a.m., so again, this shooting happened at 3:18 a.m., is that correct?
Yes.
At 3:20 a.m., it looks like there was location sharing that was begun at that point in time, correct?
Yes.
And then at 3:24 a.m., 1 minute before that police car rolls by Mr. Lewandowski's house, the defendant receives on his phone a text that says, "Hide, bro." Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, looking at the videos in this case, the video that is on Mr. Anderson's phone of a male and a female, that was opened on July 7th at 12:56 a.m. Is that your understanding as the lead detective in this case?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So that would have been just after midnight, about 2 hours before this shooting happened. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Showing you that video that was obtained. All right. So in this particular video that was opened on July 7th in the early morning hours, this individual, describe what type of hair this individual seems to have, please.
Shoulder length dreads.
Is that consistent with what the individual looked like who was running by Mr. Lewandowski's house?
Yes,
What is this individual wearing on his face in this photograph?
glasses,
And we see a garment that he's wearing. What color garment is that?
black hoodie,
And what do we see on the face of the black hoodie, please?
a coffee cup with the words "coffee and chaos."
And is that consistent with the location and description of the moniker that we see both on the front and the back of the individual sweatshirt at the party?
Yes,
Okay, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Witness be released.
Yes,
Thank you. Let me step down. Any additional witnesses on behalf of the people?
Your Honor, thank you. At this time, we rest our case. Thank you.
Thank you. I need to give the jury a brief break.
All rise.
Thank you. You may be seated. On behalf of defendant, is there a motion at this time?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, on behalf of Mr. Anderson, I would move for a directed verdict. I understand the law and the burden. I understand that the court must view these motions in light most favorable to the people. However, the court has heard the testimony, and I'm not going to rehash all of it and give a summation in great detail. But I don't think I'm telling tales out of school here if I suggest that we have heard from multiple witnesses who have given numerous conflicting accounts as to what did or did not occur. I think there have been a lot of inconsistencies. There has certainly been no photographic or videographic evidence that would show Mr. Anderson as the one being the shooter on that night. And again, what the testimony we do have from the res gestae witnesses are just all over the place. And I would suggest to the court, as I will argue to the jury, is just not credible and should not be believed. Particularly, I will highlight also, Your Honor, on the carrying of a concealed weapon charge. We've heard testimony from witnesses that said they saw Mr. Anderson with a gun in his hand, but we have not heard any testimony from any witnesses that said they saw him with that gun, whether it be fully or partially concealed, or that he pulled it out from a place of concealment. That would be a necessary element that would need to be demonstrated for that charge and the accompanying felony firearm charge on that to go before the jury. So at this time, Your Honor, I would ask for a directed verdict in favor of Mr. Anderson.
Your Honor, thank you. As the court is aware, the standard is taking the light and the evidence most favorable to the people. Could a reasonable juror conclude that the people have met their burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt? Respectfully, Your Honor, the people sort of categorically disagree with defense counsel's assertion that the testimony was, quote, all over the place. We had 3 res gestae witnesses who testified in this case as eyewitnesses. Ms. Williams testified to the fight that went on. She testified at the conclusion of the fight. The defendant, or the person she identified as the defendant, continued to pursue Miles and Martrell Jackson. He then produced a firearm. He then brandished that firearm, tried to hit Martrell Jackson with it, did hit Martrell Jackson with it. She turned to run, which would be an understanding response. She then heard gunshots and was aware that Miles had been shot. Mr. Jackson then picked up the baton at that point in time and told essentially the identical story, Your Honor, wherein he was assaulted on the porch. that assault was violent. It was against he and Miles. It continued to the parking lot. He then observed this defendant, who he identified multiple times in court, brandish a weapon, try to hit him with it, raise that gun, pointed at his friend Miles, and then fire that handgun, causing Miles to be injured. Miles Washington, the main complainant, we will say in this case, even though there are two named victims, told almost the identical story, Your Honor. There was impeachment with a prior inconsistent statement, but certainly that is an explainable prior inconsistent statement, or one that a jury and fact finder must conclude or evaluate the credibility of. So we would take exception to the fact that the testimony was all over the place. In addition, there was extensive circumstantial evidence in this case, Your Honor. First, there's a video that memorializes this violent assault, which could be sufficient in and of itself to establish a lesser crime of assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder. We see evidence on the video of it escalating to a point where someone then shoots. There are 4 gunshots, panic ensues. That corroborates the eyewitnesses in this case. There is testimony from investigators that there were multiple shell casings found. There is video evidence that puts who we believe and will assert, who the jury could credibly find, this defendant fleeing from the scene, attempting to hide, changing his appearance, running through another yard, and then going back to that yard the next day in search of something unknown what, but the jury can make their own decision and reasonable inferences. The final thing, Your Honor, is on the charge of assault with intent to murder. You know, when you level a gun up on somebody, and both witnesses showed it was leveled right up at chest level, that in and of itself meets the threshold for assault with intent to murder. So our opinion is a jury could certainly evaluate credibility, evaluate the eyewitness testimony, and they could most certainly render a verdict of guilty on all the charges. We would ask the motion be denied.
Final word, your motion.
Yes, Your Honor, I will just reiterate, I mean, the court heard the testimony from the witnesses, and yes, there were multiple inconsistencies and a lot of the details that the witnesses gave. I'm not going to go through them and list them one by one. The court has heard the testimony. I'm not going to stand here and give what will essentially be my summation to the jury, but there were a lot of facts, there were a lot of details that they were simply not in agreement on. And yes, there were impeachment and there were prior inconsistent statements that came out from those very witnesses. And I understand the court must view these motions in the light most favorable to the people, but I am still asking for a verdict in favor of Mr. Anderson. I don't believe that there's been enough evidence established that it should go before the jury. And particularly, again, Your Honor, I will reiterate, as it relates to the carrying of a concealed weapon, there was there was testimony that Mr. Anderson, they saw him with a gun in his hand, but there was no testimony as to the concealment of that, either fully concealed or partially concealed. That is a necessary element that would have to be met to keep that charge moving to the jury. Thank you.
Thank you. I have to say, as the case unfolded, I was very concerned about what I was hearing, mostly what I was not hearing. However, as the case from the people concluded, I do find that there is enough credible evidence, although circumstantial in part and conflicting, and there are inconsistencies. There is enough evidence as to each count for a reasonable juror to make a finding. Therefore, your motion is denied. The jurors have paid attention, and for me to decide this case, I would sit as the 13th juror. And as you know, looking at all of this together at this point, in the light most favorable to the non-moving party, the people, I simply cannot grant it. At this time, shall we voir dire your client, or would you like some time with him?
Yeah, if we could just have a brief recess so I can have further discussion with him.
Okay. Take all the time you need. Let us know when you're ready. We're off the record. Thank you.